Hello everyone, I'm back with another video for you today, and we're going to be looking at Scoia'tel today. Now I do have just kind of a regular-ish Mystic Echo deck, but with a spicy twist, and that twist is Schirru. Now I wanted to play this card in Precision Strike, but I just kind of figured that Mystic Echo's a better leader overall at the moment, and especially against some of the decks that I've been facing a fair amount, you know, Skellige. Probably Syndicate as well. It just gives you a bit more power and ability to push round 3, that sort of thing, or bully the opponent with the Mystic Echo. Schirru can be a bit awkward here, and I do have Hawker Smugglers as well, which can sometimes buff up the Schirru. But really the thinking of the Schirru in this deck is it's kind of a surprise card that can really mess up some decks, you know, maybe Northern Realms with a lot of 3-point Caravan Vanguards, for example. Or potentially if you get one buff on him through maybe Call of the Forest or Hawker, then he can scorch all of the 4s against Skellige. So there's a couple of ways for him to be quite powerful, and also he does allow you to get a free Harmony proc basically, because he'll play as an elf, he then kills himself, and you can play another elf and harmonize again. So he kind of has some synergy in a Harmony deck. And when you don't have that much control in Harmony as well, I think it's nice to have that kind of board clear potential against some decks. And yeah, you're going to be able to just occasionally get some really nice surprise value. You can tutor him with Council for an extra 2 points, so he's kind of hitting 3, 4, 5 strength, depending on what kind of situation you're in. You might want to mulligan him, in certain matchups, or if you know they're going to have a lot of 3s, then you can keep him around. And yeah, he's kind of in there as a little spicy, throw him out the deck if you need him. But, to be honest, Elias is probably what I would play if I weren't playing the Schirru, so you could definitely just swap those out. Elias is pretty cool. He can, do a similar thing to Schirru. He can kill a Harmony unit. I did some testing today, and he can't kill an elf and still activate Harmony himself, so that's a little bit bugged. But you can kill other units, maybe you kill a little dwarf or, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, the use of that is not too good, but he's just a decent body, decent elf play, and you're kind of low on elves for Harmony procs in this deck. You could even think about running Barnabas if you also played him, I guess, but not going to do that myself. But yeah, Mystic Echo is pretty strong still. I'm not sure where Scoia'tel lands on the kind of tier list at the moment. I have to play a bit more and play against it a bit more, but definitely with Miners being a pretty damn good 4-drop for them, along with allowing you to play Defender. I think there's definitely some potential here for Scoia'tel to be quite good. Maybe not this exact list, maybe cut that Schirru, maybe optimize a little bit better, but I think this is a good starting ground for Mystic Echo. If you want to play with that spicy Schirru, then do. If not, then that's also okay. Either way, let's jump into some games. Let's see if we can win. Okay, looks like we're going to be up against Northern Realms. So hopefully the Schirru will be very useful here. And blue coin's quite nice because we're hopefully going to be able to get a Hawker Smuggler on the board, get it buffed up, out of range of a lot of the nasty things that the opponent will have. I'm kind of tempted to mulligan Schirru because I don't know if we want it round 1, but we'll see. Let's get rid of Rebuke for now, I don't think we need it. We definitely like the Miner Defender combo. Hawk I think I'll hold on to for later, and the Mahakam Marauder as well. Just want to find that poison for the round 1. We're probably going to play Hawker Smuggler, the Miner into Defender combo. We'll see when we go from there. And I think we can start with boosting here. There's not really much that will counter this play, apart from Philippa, I suppose. Philippa would be good against it regardless, I think. Okay, going to be a Mauler, so we can probably just go ahead and play Miner now. He might try to kill this. If if Hawker Smuggler's popping off throughout the round, then it's a lot of points to handle. Quite difficult for the opponent. We can row stack for the Oak. Just saw the buff come onto Schirru there, that's a bit interesting. We'll see what happens about that. Okay, I think we can just Miner Defender, even if he damages it with both, which I should probably be row stacking right now, oops. That shouldn't matter too much, we probably won't play Oak this round. Oh my god, Schirru's getting buffed! This is maybe a reason to sometimes mulligan him with the Smuggler, but we'll see. Having him at a weird strength can also be quite good for you, so We'll see how it goes here. But yeah, normally we'd want him at the 3 mark to be able to deal with the, you know, a lot of the guys that the Northern Realms player will put out. Okay, let's see. We could just play another Hawker here if we wanted. I think I'm tempted to go with the Treant Boar though. Another engine on the board, and that should be winning us round 1 most of the time here. We can then do quite a nice bleed in round 2, I think. Okay. So I think we do want to play on a little bit here. We'll see how much by. Gonna hit that. I suppose we can probably commit poisons, although it doesn't feel too amazing. I do really want to win the round. It's gonna mean we can push and bleed with the Mystic Echo plays, and that should be pretty good for us. Maybe we only play 1, maybe we play both with leader. Water Broccolon, I should say. Let's always call that differently. Okay, I'll just take my poison value. Poison's not going to be very good later anyway, because the Northern Realms guys do have Draug to deny that. I think now we probably are getting a pass. We'll see. We'll see about this 5 strength Schirru. I'm interested to see how we can make that work. Oh, he's actually going to play on here. Maybe wants to get Baron value on the you know, on the defender. Okay, a bit awkward for me, a bit awkward. We could probably go with figures if we wanted. We could also play Forv and thin out, you know, like a Rebuke or something. I'm a little bit hesitant to do that because then we can quite easily brick. Possibly the correct play is to just pass and hope that the Schirru value gets me there, although maybe he will, maybe he will. At 5 it's possible that he boosts Revenants up to that strength. It's maybe a little bit YOLO to do that though. Probably if we can win the round that would be good. I think Defender's very good though. I'm going to go to the long round and see what happens here, I think. I'm quite interested in seeing the result. Especially with a boosted Schirru. That's going to be a little bit intriguing. Okay. He did manage to get the round only committing fallible, so that's kind of nice for him, but we got a bit of carryover. And I do think we might be able to hold our own against the Northern Realms guys. See how it goes. Alrighty then. We could also mulligan this Schirru, make him a bit bigger with, you know, something from our deck, you know, Isengrim's Council, Call of the Forest. But let's just get rid of the Sapper. I think that card's bad here, and so is Bowman, most likely. Although we maybe want another elf to proc Harmony with. Looks like the opponent's actually going to play this round. That's interesting. So I think we'll just start with water. Gives us a pretty easy, you know, get ahead play. If he has Philippa, it kind of hurts, but quite often they don't run it at the moment. It's a very expensive card. Okay. So it looks like we might be able to find Schirru value if he kind of goes all in here. Or close to all in, then we'll be in good shape, I think. Just going to play Hawk, get ahead. Because there's a possibility of Voimir coming on these 5s, and if that happens, then really good stuff. Or Anna. Anna also is really good for me. Ah, perfect. Alright, let's just take our Schirru value then. Incredible. The secret Schirru comes in. It will buff our fledglings out of range. There we go, perfect. Deal with the Anna and the Reynard. And I think that just wins us the game, honestly. It's very funny, like, Schirru will just sometimes win you games. I had one game where I got him to 6 strength and then it destroyed the opponent's board completely. Yeah, I think our opponent's a bit lost at this point about what to do. So maybe let's just go with a chill, Call of the Forest, onto Hawker Smuggler, get some more carryover going. He might be able to kill this using Prince, but at that point he's kind of used all of his good cards and he's very far behind after the Schirru, so I don't think we're going to be in trouble. There's a Bomb Heaver. So probably I'm going to play Fauve now just to thin out the Nature's Rebuke. And he probably won't play his last card, I don't suppose. Although if he does, we just commit Defender. It's not too bad for us. If it's a Draug, he won't want to play it. I mean, to be honest, the opponent kind of messed up by bleeding here, really. But they were scared of the double Echo. I'm not sure how that would go for us, the double Waters, in round 3. Maybe we'd be winning with the big Schirru. Very possible. And that Schirru value there was very, very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. So now we've got, you know, not the longest round 3, but that kind of favours Mystic Echo pretty hard usually. Let's go look for... Okay, well, we have a lot of Harmony procs here. We can probably get a little bit better than this Bowman. Yeah, Marauder's also not that good. Okay, Minor, sure. Okay, Mystic Echo, of course. And then we'll defend our guys, I think, with the figures. Case of Ansays or Philippa. And yeah, we're going to take a pretty easy win there. Not too shabby. Alright, let's jump into the next game and see if we can do that again. And looks like some kind of mirror match going to be up next here. Honestly, the Schirru could come in huge in this matchup if we're able to, you know, outplay and destroy all of their fledglings with him. That could just be game deciding on its own. Let's hold him in hand for the moment, see if we can get some buffs onto him that would actually benefit us in this matchup. Probably unlike the last, but it turned out okay before. Okay, and we can probably keep most of these cards, I feel like. We are on blue coins, so we need some opening plays, and Minor is just that. Rebuke's not going to be too good, so we could get rid of it. It will come in handy later, though. I don't really want to commit Poison round 1, because I need to use it for the... Yeah, maybe I should have kept Rebuke, because it can answer their Hawker Smuggler. So we do find Smuggler, which is good. Let's probably... Yeah, boosting it's a bit dangerous because of Poison. I suppose if they Poison we can play Defender. It's not too bad for us, but... Might have even been better to start with Minor and then buff it up, actually. It depends. Do we think there's a Rebuke or not, really, is the question. Or do we think there's Poison? Let's go for this. We can also go for Council to purify the Poison with the Sapper. That's guaranteed at this point. Okay, looks like it's just movement anyway. And he did actually play the Hawk into the Bowman, so I think I'm just going to take that value. Kill a Harmony Engine. We're really going to just play 3 cards and pass here, I think. One thing we can do is we can Minor onto Schirru. That might be a really nice play to go with. I was actually going to commit their Percival in this round. That's quite a big commitment. I think I'm going to go just with Minor now. We can draw the Minor later, or we can mulligan the Schirru and pull it with Council maybe. Realistically, we just want to get that value. If we can find the turn to get the Schirru value, I think we're winning the game. They're never really going to expect a Schirru in this matchup, so should be all good. Unless we get pushed, but if we get pushed, that's also pretty fine. Let's pass. The opponent's used a lot more than us this round to win, which is good. They've used Poison and Percival. And we've just played, you know, 3 bronzes. Looks like they do have more than just a couple of poisons though, so they will get some value from those later, presumably. Schirru really makes the game interesting. It turns the game into kind of, how do I get Schirru value? If you get Schirru value, you probably win. If you don't, then it can be tricky. But I kind of like that dynamic, to be honest. I think it's quite interesting, quite fun. Okay, let's get rid of Rebuke. Gonna keep that in deck as a potential way to unbrick my 4th later on. And I think we should also get rid of another card here. Maybe the Hawk. Although it's not too bad. Maybe 1 Ranger. We could probably get that Poison off on his Defender without too much issue. And we've got this very, very cheeky Schirru Minor play, potentially. We'll see. They might just go in with the Fauve and Waters, in which case we're really going to shut that down. So yeah, I think I'm going to miner first. Probably not going to deal with that. And then the Schirru is going to be able to clean up these fledglings. Hopefully all of them. If he does go in with the leader, that would be very funny. Looks like not going to happen here. But okay, we'll just use the Schirru, I think, while it's good. It's just a 10-point Schirru. I mean, I guess it's actually 8, but it does kill 2 fledglings, so kind of trading with one of his waters, really nice value. And you know, if he pushes here, we can play our waters and survive the bleed. Should be in a pretty good spot, I think. Also, having first say in round 3 is quite a good thing. He obviously would have been really in trouble if he played the leader there as well, but he chose not to, so good decision from the opponent. I suppose we should probably commit the waters, otherwise we're in a bit of an awkward situation, really. We could go with the poison first, maybe, but probably waters is just sensible. We'll get a pass from him now, I imagine. And then it'll be a reasonably even round 3, but we should have a slight advantage, I would say. Okay, so poisons are useful. Hawk is also good. We maybe don't need all of these poisons. We can always pull one if we do need it with the Isengrim's Council. So I think with that in mind, I will play one. And maybe Chariot's a little bit worse, but honestly shouldn't matter too much. I think I'd quite like to have the poison being the Council because there's not many other good cards to pull here. Maybe Defender, but it's quite, you know, random and high rolly to get that. I guess we can also just have the poison in hand. I think here I will mulligan it. It's possible he'll even Purify and then my poison won't find value at all, so I want to be safe against that. I think Defender here is probably also bad. There's a possibility that we draw Rebuke and Brick, so that's a bit spooky. But this card is pretty not good at this point because I don't have miners for it. Okay. So we didn't draw perfectly, but got a pretty solid hand for this round 3. Let's of course start immediately with Waters, and then I think Percival. And we'll go in front with all this stuff. We're a stack for the Oak, of course. And I think we could move that, but first we probably play our own Hawker, I think, in this situation. Could also go for poisons, but I think I'm really going to have to save those for Defender. And we'll start racking up the points. The Percival's going to be really huge in this round, I think. So I think now we go Hawk. It's another Harmony. We can deny one of their engines. Yeah, looking good. So I think now we can probably just play our Defender. Unless we want to get Harmony online now. It's a bit risky. You know, you've got to be a bit afraid of the Defender from them. I don't really want to play Defender myself just yet, actually. For a couple of reasons, but I won't dive into those just yet. So maybe we go with the 4 now to shut down this Hawker Smuggler. Yeah, I kind of like that play. It might get a bit better once we develop a tree and stuff, but it's also not going to be bad here, I think. And we have a lot more engine value on the board than him, so probably in a good spot, I imagine. A lot more Harmony going on here. He's going to commit a very early Oak. That's really good for me. He kind of wasted a lot of points dealing with that engine there. Alright, so I think we can just go ahead and play the Dwarven Chariot. I really need to brick his poisons with figures, and that kind of means not playing Chariot on this row because it might get a bit awkward. Actually, maybe that's wrong. I probably could have done Chariot there. I might lose out on some Oak value because of that play. We'll see. I have quite a lot of bodies here is what I'm thinking, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue. It might become awkward. It's going to become a sort of dance, you know, who will play their figures first. Wait, actually I should have done figures before the Chariot. I just missed a Harmony proc. That was a bit silly, potentially. Maybe it works out for us. Not sure there'll be enough poison for him now. It might be a bit, you know, futile trying to brick this. We could also just take the... Yeah, I probably missed a lot of points here, I'm not going to lie. I just kind of was copying his line of play, but realistically, losing the harmony proc is pretty huge for me, because I have more harmony than him. And we could always, you know, go for the Purify if we felt it was needed in this situation. I mean, we might still be winning with this line, because he probably has Awkward Hand, with, you know, not quite enough poisons to get value from. And there's going to be poison on figures, okay. So I think we can go with our tree now, go for the poison ourselves, but maybe... Yeah, I think it's fine. We'll see, it might force some kind of reaction from him. Would be nice if it did. And then we can decide whether we actually take our poison or not. Yeah, okay, we're not going to take it, because he had the answer, so we'll just take a Purify ourselves. And get that Elf Harmony proc. There shouldn't really be a way for him to kill the Percival now unless he has morale and a poison on hand. I think it's quite unlikely. He's actually got a trap though, which is interesting. So, Oak, where do we want it? If we do play on this front row, we're going to miss... Yeah, it's worth playing on front here, I think. By quite a large amount. We can't kill an engine on... Ah, we can actually. We can kill that tree. Let's do that. That's not a very close game, ultimately. Managed to conserve resources better than them. The Schirru was really, really nice. And, yeah, just a better round 3 overall. Yeah, Barnabas is pretty good, but... Didn't get his poison value, so it turned out that playing for that Figus might have been good. It might have just been better to take the Purify, and we would have probably won by more points, but... Either way, pretty nice win in the mirror. I haven't really played this deck against Syndicate, so it might struggle there. It might also be not too good against some other things. It seems pretty good against Skellige and Northern Realms, so I wouldn't say it's a bad deck. It might even be in the top 4. Scoia'tel and Mystic Echo, that sort of stuff. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.